Hello everyone, and welcome to this Minecraft tutorial on how to build the Lotus Fort house. It'll be a very sizable and very spacious house, which is also largely protected from mobs and creepers of any sort. As you can see, I'm running Minecraft 1.74 with minimal add-ons and additions. I just have the Jolly Craft skin on. Alright, so to start, you're going to find, it can be a fairly small piece of land. I like to build in the field area. And we're going to start by putting down a bed, because, that's a fairly nice thing to have. Alright, next grab the building material of your choice. I'm using moss stone, because that's my personal favorite, and I'm in creative mode and can burn it. But go ahead and, following this diagram, start to build the base of the tower. This is what's going to keep us from having a ridiculously wide footprint, but will also provide a small briefing from creepers specifically, because even if they do explode near the start of your base, it's an easy thing to fix and doesn't blow up your crates or any of the rest of your important nice things. Alright, so just go ahead and lay down that moss stone, or the block of your choice. Alright, next switch to your ladder and add that in so you can actually access the fort. And then go ahead and build 2 blocks out on either side. This will create a barrier against things like spiders that try to chase you in. They won't be able to fit into the 1 block wide space, and you can just wail on them for the XP. Alright, now that you've got that done, you'll start to work on building out the outside. If you look at this diagram, we're going to be making a hexagon, because there will be 6 branches, which will create the flower petals of the Lotus Fort design. There's a number of ways you can work on this sort of groundwork. The safest of which is to simply build towers up from the ground, build as far as you can, then break through those, and then rebuild towers and do it. You can be risky and stand on the edge of blocks and try to do it. It's up to you, whatever you feel comfortable with. So yeah, just go ahead and lay this stuff down. And then start to build the sides, just like this. Just working diagonally. And then proceed like this around the perimeter. So after you finish, you'll then want to start working in the rest of the floor to make it a solid place to stand. Okay, so like this, we're done. We're going to put down our first staircase bit here so that we can enter. Alright, now that we've got that, we'll want to start building up the walls so that we'll have something to work with. Alright, so now go ahead and start building the staircase here at the entrance of the building. Obviously, you'll start by taking some sort of structure and starting your stair pathway very much like this. Then move on ahead, lay down the stair pieces and correct that little mistake there. And then it's my personal preference to go through and delete the bricks I no longer need, but that's up to you if you want to take the time to do that or not. Alright, now that we've got that, we'll want to start building up the walls so that we'll have something to work with. Let's go ahead and do that all around. Okay, now that we've got some wall to work with, we're going to start building out according to this diagram. This one shows us the basic design of the petals that are going to be coming off of the diagonal sections of our hexagon. We'll get to it later, but the petals coming off the flat sections will have to be designed slightly differently. Let's go ahead and look at this. It'll start with those 5 blocks we saw before. We'll get back to them. You'll then build 5 out diagonally from there. Then you'll start to work pretty much straight ahead, and you'll build 6 on that particular row. And then you'll start to come back together to the center, and you'll need to build about 9 blocks in to do that. So looking back here, here's our original 5 that form that first line, and then you'll start with the next row of 5 out from there. Okay, now that you've got the base work done, go ahead and fill that in just as before with the grounding, and then you'll build up a wall. Again, if we look at our diagram, we've got a wall that is technically 9 blocks high. That first block is the floor you're going to lay down, this initial floor. It will include this outline. Then you've got 7 layers of just wall, and then the top layer is also going to be your ceiling, so it's going to be, very, very close to your ground floor, where it won't really be height, it's just your ceiling. Okay, so go ahead and put that all in, and you'll see this is what it looks like once you've got everything put in. So now you'll want to switch over to the carpet color of your choice, whatever color you'd like the petals to be. I'm using magenta, and just go ahead and cover the whole thing. As you can see, this is a completed wing. So now you're just going to go ahead and repeat this exact design on each of the 4 diagonals. And as you go, before you move on to those though, remember that you need to light up with torches, especially if you're in survival mode, or else mobs will spawn. Okay, so before you build this next one, go ahead and start, working on your staircase and bridge up around the fort. And then, just like before, find your base 5 that you're going to be working with. Start to clear that out. Alright, so here's the finished second fort. So now you're actually going to skip doing the flat part for now. We'll come back to that. It'll need horizontal space. Move on to this 3rd diagonal next, after torching and building up your staircase. Okay, as you can see, here's the 3rd diagonal. So still looking good. And now we've got all 4 diagonals. So now we can move on to this flat bit, now that we've got the horizontal play space to work with. Go ahead and start here with these 2 blocks in the center, or they're not center, they'll be slightly off. As you can see by this diagram, we'll need to work with a slightly different thing. You'll start with 5 blocks as the first row, and those won't be the original part of the tower wall, those will be built separately off. You'll then want 2 blocks diagonal heading out from that. Then you'll go straight for 8 blocks, and then you'll bring those 2 sections in together just like the other petals. So go ahead and start laying out that outline. Okay, as you can see, this is what it looks like. It's slightly different, but it'll work. So as you can see, this is what it looks like. Go ahead and lather, rinse, repeat, put on the walls. Like that is our top flower petal. So now, according to our original design, we need to add a little bit more wall going around so we can close things up off at the top. Alright, now that we've added on the ceiling to the whole tower, we're going to want to switch carpet colors. I had a thought of doing this with yellow stained glass, but that didn't pan out or work. So I'm just going to use yellow carpet like I did for the other sections, and do the exact same things with the top of the branches. Just lay down carpet. And now we're completely done. As you can kind of see through the cloud layer, it's very tall. But it does give a nice design, and if you're using Ray's Minimap or any similar plugin, you can easily see it on the minimap. So if you come down here inside and take a look, you will notice, however, that it's very dark inside. So we're going to take a second and add in some windows and decorations. Alright, here's the somewhat finished version. I cleaned up some of it for you guys. As you can see, I added in some stained glass windows on the flat walls, and threw in some cats, because I like cats. And then, put in some decorations, put in a couple chests, which is where you could stash frequently used exploring items. If you were really cool, you could hook up an item sorter and have it sort to a different storage room from those chests. So the first room I put in is an indoor garden. This room will need to be lit like hell. In order to get the plants to grow properly, you'll have to have a lot of torches. And the next room we've got is a mini farm, essentially, where I've got cows for milk, chickens for eggs, and sheep for wool. I don't keep pigs or anything because they're only useful for food, and I've got other sources for that. And then the last room I have completely filled out for now is a crafting room, essentially, where we've got our potions table, our bookcases and enchanting table, and then some furnaces and a craft table with some storage. I'd probably add in a completely separate storage room, which I would build an item sorter so I could just drop stuff off at the bottom level, and it would automatically item sort to the taller levels. But yeah, that is the finished building. So, as you can see, very spacious, but protected from mobs. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and we look forward to seeing you again. Hope to bring you more exciting stuff. Thanks very much for watching.